Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. Okay, today we will discuss on the first lecture for this class, which is business. Okay, for this class, which is BTMP 1013. Okay, typo here, business mathematics, which is the topic was linear equation and function. Okay, this is the note from Dr. Ko Chin Foon from FKKK. I'm using it. Okay, so here in this chapter we'll discuss on linear equation, linear inequalities in one and two variable, and function. Okay, for linear equation, okay, what we call linear equation. What is linear equation? Linear equation is equation of a straight line. Okay, this is the graph of linear equation, which is the straight line. Okay, this is the straight line. Yang ni kita we can illustrate this, or we can state in our statement that this is the increased straight line and this is the decreased straight line. Okay, so this is the general form of linear equation, which is y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, y and x is power of y and x is 1. Okay, because it is linear. Then C is the y-intercept. What is y-intercept? Persilangan y. Okay, when we're referring to this graph, y-intercept is located in here, persilangan y. And if the y-intercept of this graph is here. If we draw this graph and when this pass the y-axis, which is here, this is the y-intercept, and this value we call it as C in the equation. Okay, M is the slope ataupun kecerunan, or we call it as gradient. Okay, this is the graphical description of y is equal to mx plus c, and this is the y-intercept like I said just now. Okay, this is the y-intercept, and when we want to find the m, the gradient, we have to choose the 2 points here, the red point 1, and this is the second red point, and from these 2 points we solve this formula, then we get the value of m. Okay, x1 here is the coordinate x1, and y is referring to the y1, and the coordinate for this point is x2 y2. Then from this x1 y1 x2 y2, replace it in this formula, then we'll get m. Okay, next is, okay, this is the situation where the slope m, the gradient, the kecerunan is greater than 0, which is it increase. Then when it is less than 0, it will decrease. Then when it is equal to 0 and it is the horizontal line. Why it is the horizontal line? For example, if we choose 2 points here, okay, for example, this coordinate is, this is the straight line, right? When it is the straight line, the value of y is same for these 2 points. And for example, this is the value of x here ialah 1, 2, and for this point, the value of x is 4, 2. Okay, just now the formula of m is what? M is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So for here, if we replace the value here, y2 is 2, y2 is 2 divide minus 2 because of y1 is also 2. Then our x here is x2, which is 4 minus 1, and it becomes 0 divided by 3. Whatever number 0 divided by any number, it will become 0. So that we know that this is the horizontal line when m is equal to 0. Okay. Same situation as this. When we find this as x1, y1 and this is as x2, y2, then we solve this formula, then we get m is less than 0, then we know that this straight line will decrease. Okay, so next is example 1. Find the linear equation of line with slope m is equal to 2 and y-intercept is 0, 3. So now we know that y-intercept is 0, 3. So this is the value of c. So we will replace 3 with c here. Then we know that our slope is 2 already straight away from the example here. So we get this equation, okay, linear equation straight away. So this is the final answer. Easy, right? Okay, so now example number 2. So here we know that our m is 2. Then the point here passing through negative 2, 3 and 5, 6. Okay, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, so now use this formula to find the linear equation. Okay, let's replace the y minus y. Okay, this is another formula how to find the linear equation. Okay, so here by using this formula, we replace our y1, x1 just now. Just now from the question is y1, x1 is negative 2, 3, 5, 6. Negative 2, 3, 5, 6. So the point is negative 2, 3, then 5, 6. Okay, so replace our y1 with 3, then x1 with negative 2, then replace y2 is 6 minus y1 is 3. Okay, this is x1, y1 and this is x2, y2. Just replace in the equation, then rearrange the equation into general form of linear equation just now, which is m x plus c. Rearrange. Jadikan y as a perkara rumus here. Y is equal to what? Okay, so this is the final form of linear equation. Okay, next is, okay, this is the application of linear equation. Okay, the basic salary of car salesman is 800. Basic salary, when we call the basic salary, it is the y-intercept. You always remember in y is equal to mx plus c. C is the basic salary, which is when the point here, when 0, x is equal to 0, bila tak ada apa-apa berlaku, so the value here yang atas ni ialah dia kata 800. So we already know that the y-intercept C here is 800. Then he will earn 500 for each car he sold. Maksudnya for each car he sold, 500 is the gradient, kecerunan, which is slope just now. Okay, then write the linear equation which represent his monthly income. So his monthly income is equal to this that I write just now. Then Question B is, if he managed to sell 3 cars in January, what is his total income? Managed to sell out 3 cars, meaning that our X here is 3. So times 500 times 3 plus 800, it becomes 2,300. Okay, so question number C. If his February income is 2,800, how many car he was being sold? Maksudnya kita tak tahu X sekarang, kita tahu Y. Okay, so sekarang kita tahu the value of in February he sold out 2,800. So how many X he sold? Maksudnya kita kena cari nilai X. So rearrange this equation, then we get 4 cars that he sold in February. Okay, so then this is Y is total income, X is number of cars sold in that month. Okay, so here next is example 1.4. Lola bought a soy milk maker which cost her 500 and she managed to produce 600 cups of soy milk in January. Material cost 20 cents per cup. What is the total cost function for the milk? Okay, so when we look at the solution here, dia kata 1 cup tu 0.2. So the basis tu, Lola bought which cost her, the basis is 500. The basis is 500 kan? Okay, so sekarang what is the total cost function for the soy milk? Okay, so the total cost C, which is like Y is equal to MX plus C just now, is kita tahu dia punya cost pada permulaan tu dah jadi 500. Maksudnya tak ada apa-apa perubahan. Maksudnya tak ada masa yang berubah. Masa tu pada kosong dia dah which cost her 500. Okay. So sekarang kita tahu equation ni, maksudnya this is the y-intercept and this is the gradient per cup. So macam just now the per month yang macam car tu kan. Okay, so here this is the formula which is the total cost. Then compute the total cost for 600 cup. When we want to find the 600, so here 600 is our X. Okay, so times, then we get the C is 620 for total cost. Okay, so linear inequalities, what does it mean? Okay, inequality, ketaksamaan. Usually we see that 1 plus 2 is equal. This is persamaan. Okay, when we call it inequality, ketaksamaan, it can be less than, maksudnya 1 plus 2 is always less than 4. Macam tu. Dia tak sama dengan 4 but it less than 4. Then less than and or equal. Okay, so if you want to put here is also true. Or if we have this 1 plus 2 is less or equal to 3 is also true. Okay, so then greater which is lebih besar. Okay, meaning that for example 1 plus 2 is always greater than 0. Okay. Or we want to write it as 1 plus 2 is always greater or equal to 3. It's also true. Okay. This is the interval notation. And kalau kita kata X is less than A, meaning that X is less than A. When we write X is less than 3, it always, if we have the ruler here 3, okay, pembaris kan. Then X is less than 3 is always B lebih kecil daripada 3 yang di sebelah sini lah. Sentiasa lebih kecil dan terus ke bawah sampailah negative infinity. So sebab tu dekat sini is anak panah. Faham Okay, so when we call it as less or equal, okay, yang ni simbol ni ataupun kalau kita biasa nampak, dia ialah macam ni. Less or equal. Maksudnya dia ada less or equal. Ada satu macam tu kan. Okay, so maksudnya dekat sini dia termasuk A. Just now dia tak termasuk 3. Maksudnya nilai ni ialah daripada 2.999. Dia tak termasuk 3, which is the number 1. And the number 2 is dia daripada 3 dan ke bawah. Dia termasuk 3. Maksudnya macam tu. Less and equal to 3. Macam tu. Kalau kita kata X is greater than A, meaning that dia tak termasuk A tetapi lebih besar daripada A. Contohnya kalau 3 tadi, kalau dia greater than 3, meaning that 3.001 and above. 3.00001 pun boleh juga. Asalkan dia tak termasuk 3. Macam tu juga dengan yang lainnya. Bila dia ada greater, less or equal, greater or equal, maksudnya termasuklah nombor yang dinyatakan ni. Dan bila dia kata termasuk, nampak tak kat sini is close interval, maksudnya dia tertutup. When it's tak termasuk, which is it is open interval. Okay, nampak ni. Okay, so which x satisfy the inequality here? Okay, we want to find the value of x, then we have to rearrange this equation, then we'll get 2x is less or equal to 9 minus 5. Okay, so now here x is less or equal to 4 divided by 2 because of we put, okay, here 5 plus 5 letak sebelah kiri minus 5, then it becomes 4, and this is time when we put it to the right side, it becomes 2 divided by 2, then the final answer is 2. When we want to illustrate x is less or equal to 2, so it becomes less x to less or equal. So close interval termasuk 2 sampai ke bawah semua ialah less or equal to. Okay, so this is the notation dia punya how to write, and this is how we illustrate. Okay, so next is, okay, example here is find x which satisfy these inequalities. Okay, macam mana kita nak cari? Sama juga macam tadi. Selesaikan x, jadikan x sebelah kiri, so we get 3, then here we'll get x is less than 7. Okay, when x is less than 7 and x is less than 3, so we want to find the x that satisfies these two inequalities. So then we get, kita dapat selang yang ni. Selang yang kita dapat ni tu yang ni. Maksudnya dia bersilang. Yang ni tak, sebab dua-dua ni tak lalu dekat sini. So yang ni tak ada. Okay, so sekarang dia satisfy that x is less or equal to 3. Okay, so this satisfy these two equation. Okay, so cost function. Okay, this is the formula for cost total, and this is the fixed cost, then variable cost per unit. Okay, then this is the revenue function, which is price per item, and X is item sold, and profit function is Rx minus Rc, which is Rx here revenue minus cost function. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, so if this is the situation. If the C is greater than R or P is less than 0, it is the loss situation. Okay, then when C just now is cost function is equal to revenue, or P is what? P is profit function is equal to 0, it is break even. Okay. If C is less than R or P is greater than 0, it is profit. Okay, so now look at this example. Okay, Lola bought a soy milk maker which cost her 500. She managed to produce a cup 2,000 and sold it at a price 1 ringgit. How many cup of soy milk has to be Lola so that he can make profit in her business? Okay, when we get this type of question, so we follow the equation profit. Okay, so here we know that the profit is what just now? And C is less than R. So find the formula of CF plus VX, then R is PX. Okay, so now here, so then this will, then we will use this type of equation. Then it become F is 500 plus 0.2x less than 1x. Okay, so here rearrange this equation until we get our x here. X is greater than 500 divided bahagi kosong divided by 0.x will get 625. Okay, Lola Marcel more than 625 cup of soy milk, so then she can make profit in her business. Okay, so this is linear inequality of two variable. If we have two variable x and y, then it is linear equation, many pair of solution with along the line yang ni. Okay, when we call it as less or equal to mx plus c, maksudnya dekat sini. Less maksudnya the solution is yang bawah. Region dia dekat bawah half of the plane. Okay, kalau we call it as y is greater or equal to mx plus c. Okay, so here the region is shaded yang atas ni. Okay, so now non-inclusive boundary is like this. Okay, meaning that it's not include, which is whether it is less and whether it is greater, but it is not equal. Tak ada yang tanda bawah tu kan? Okay, so now graph the solution for, okay, y is less or equal to 2x plus 1. Okay, nampak tak dia ada less or equal, less or equal. We know that it always bawah line sebab dia less and it is termasuk yang garisan tu kan. Okay, so now how can we find this graph? Okay, find two point. Okay, here the solution state that as a random point, let's say 0, 0. When we put 0, x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, we know that our y-intercept is at here, C ni kat sini. Maksudnya dia dekat 1, dekat sini. Dia bersilang dekat 1. This is true. Hence, we shade the region. If we shade the region where 0, 0, not in. Maksudnya dia tak termasuk kosong-kosong. Okay, so sekarang kita tahu bahawa kalau kita ambil x sama juga negatif 1, y juga ialah negatif 1. So this is x negatif 1, y negatif 1 dekat sini. Dan bila kita letak x sama juga dengan 1, y sama juga dengan 3 yang dekat sini. So just now kita dah tahu dah intercept dia tadi dekat 1, then we can draw a straight line passing through these three lines. So this is the graph for this equation which is shaded under this straight line, including this straight line. Okay, so for function, domain and range, what we call as a domain. Domain is what? Domain is the value of x defined, which is when we have x is equal to 1, 2, 3 for this, then when we have the relation, okay, this is the value of x and our, okay, sorry, if we have like this, x, 1, 2, 3, and fx is, okay, when we put 1 inside here, it becomes 1 square plus 1 is 2. When we put 2, 2 square is 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, so here we know that 3 square is 9, 9 plus 1 is 10. Okay, so here we know that this is the domain dia, and this is the range. The value of y is the range. Kalau kita lukis dia punya graph, graf ni, yang ni X kuasa 2 tambah 1, X kuasa 2 tambah 1. Dia macam ni. Okay, so domain dia ialah dekat X axis ni. Maksudnya semua value of X ni is the domain. And the range is only from here and above. Dan ke atas. This is what we call range. Range we referring to Y axis. Okay, jadi dekat sini range dia yang, range dia yang ni, yang shaded ni. Semua ni yang termasuk dalam graf ni, semua dia punya range. Apa kaitannya graf ni dengan relation yang saya lukis yang sebelah ni? Okay, so we know that X ni referring to X axis. Apa dia value of X yang diplotkan dekat Y? Y, yang ni ialah kita punya graf ni lah. Okay, so sekarang ni, first answer, we know that first answer ni, domain dia akan jadi apa-apa nombor X boleh masuk dekat dalam ni dan dia dapat satu nilai Y. Okay. Then B, kat sini ialah, domain dia ialah, kita tak boleh masukkan nilai, okay, for example here, we can put any number except X is equal to 0. When X is not equal to 0, when X is equal to 0, 1 or over 0, it will become undefined. Kita tak boleh plotkan yang ni. Okay, this is because, okay, yeah. For 1 over 0 is undefined. So 2x is not equal to 0, then the domain x is not equal to 0. So it's defined. Any number except 0. Domain untuk yang kedua tadi. Any number except 0. Okay, so then kat here, for fx dia, julat dia, range julat, which is from negative infinity until infinity. Then the domain and range for C is, okay, untuk nombor yang dalam punca X tolak 1. Inside this square root, we cannot put the negative number. Meaning that kita tak boleh letak nombor yang lebih kecil daripada 1 macam ni. Maksudnya kalau kita ada, maksudnya X tolak 1 tak boleh lebih kecil daripada 0. Maksudnya dia tak boleh lebih kecil dari X tolak 1 must be always greater or always greater than 0. Maksudnya dia sentiasa kena lebih besar daripada 0 sebab dia tak boleh negatif. Kalau negatif, tekan kalkulator. Cuba tekan kalkulator. Negatif, contohnya kita ada dua kat sini ialah negatif square root of negative 2. Can you find this answer? It's undefined, right? Math error from your calculator. So that we know that negative number cannot calculate inside the square root. Okay, so here we know that x minus 1 must be always greater than 0. So x must be always greater than, put to the right side, it becomes x is always greater than 1. Okay, so here it's always greater or equal to 1. Because of when we put 1 here, 1 minus 1, it becomes 0. Square root of 0 can find the answer. So the domain is defined. Okay, so here we know that the range is always greater than 0. Sebab kita tahu bahawa tadi kita punya domain kita ialah daripada apa ni? Ni ialah kalau kita letak dia tadi daripada 1, 1, 0 dia tak boleh kan? So domain is start from 1. When we find 1, 1 is from 0 and if we put 2, 2 minus 1, it is 1 square root, 1 square root. When we find 3, when we put x is equal to 3, this is the relation here. 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 square root of 2. Okay, so this is the relation. So, if this number keep increasing and this number will keep increase also. So, it start from 0. This is the range just now. So, that's become this answer, which is x is always greater or equal to 1, which is the domain, and fx is always greater or equal to 0. Okay, so here is example of a function. This is linear function, quadratic function, exponential function, and logarithmic function. Okay, so how to draw a graph from a function? Okay, so macam ni lah. Kita kena ada jadual. Bila kita ada jadual, kita letak set number x. X kita contohnya kita nak buat from negative 2 until 2. This is kita yang setkan negative 2, negative 1, 0. This is the skala that we set. If you want to put here is negative 10, negative 5, 0, 5, negative 10 is also can. As long as you can sketch and you get the basic shape of that particular graph. Okay, when we put x is equal to negative 2, then put negative 2 inside this equation. Then it become 5. Then plot negative 2, 5. Okay, for negative 1, here negative 1 square plus 1. So it is 2. Okay, so for 0, we plot it is 1. Masukkan 0, 0 dalam equation ni. Okay, so we go, maksudnya macam tu lah untuk 1 and 2. Okay, so here we plot it. Then we can draw the line here. And we get the quadratic graph. This is how we sketch the graph manually. Okay, or we can use this Desmos calculator. Okay, in this Desmos calculator, for example here, okay, I share the content for Desmos. Okay, go to the Desmos. Okay, stop sharing. Okay, here I'm sharing with you the Desmos. Okay, here. This is, ini tadi slide tu. Okay, sekejap ya, stop sharing. Now I'm sharing with you the Desmos which is from my Google Chrome. Okay, sorry, this Google Chrome. Okay, so here, okay, for here, okay, this is the Desmos punya environment. Okay, so in here, if you want to draw just now our graph, okay, here you can draw a first graph which is just now. For example, we want to draw. Okay, if you see here is a keypad. If you have a square, b square like your calculator, then if you want to draw a linear equation, for example, 5x plus 9, then you can draw it like this. Or you want to draw another graph which is, okay, it involves division, which is 5 divide by 2. Okay, then, okay, we want to put x outside, then plus 6, for example. Okay, then the red, this is the legend. The red will referring to the red line, then the blue will referring to the blue or purple line here. Okay, easy, right? How to use this Desmos. Okay, if we want to analyze, then we want to look at only the particular. For example, here we want to look at only at particular point like 10, then x. Okay. So kita nak tengok x yang greater than 10 sahaja. So this is the point. Okay. Or we want to put another here inequalities and which is, okay, just now this is 10. Okay, if we want to go for the left hand side, we will have to, this is the arrow, then we want to find that tool right here, then go to the right arrow. Okay, so this is the point yang we want to. Okay, dia jadi hitam sebab ni kat sini skala dia besar, negative 2000 until 2000, right? So we small the scale here. Scale kita besarkan lagi lah, maksudnya skala tu. Sebab kita nak nampak skala yang kita cari tu negative 10 sampai 10 je. Kan? So the shaded area here, nampak tak? When we close up this graph, so it will shade from negative 10 until 10 only by using this Desmos calculator. So if you want to analyze only this region, then you can draw this region also. Put this inequality here. Okay. Or we want only consider only x is greater than negative 10. Okay, so it will consider from negative 10 until infinity. Sampailah ke belakang ni. Kadang-kadang kita ada macam kita nak we want to know the profit from 1992 until what year, right? Also, we can put this inequalities like this. So hope you understand how to use this and relate it with your lecture just now. Okay, so this application will really help you in order to analyze your graph later. Okay, so I'm stop sharing this. Then we go for our lecture just now. Okay, that's the content for Desmos. Okay, so this is how the explanation, like I explained just now, exponential is ESP, and square, just now you can find the square in the keyboard below, and ESP represent exponential and log is logarithmic. Then you can draw it, then you can try it by yourself. Then this is the example Lola just now. Then how we draw it? Okay, so we know that this is R is equal to X, which is the revenue, and this is the cost. Just now C is total cost for this. Then this is the intersection point. Okay, we know the click on the intersection, then this Desmos will give you the intersection point. For this case is the break even point. Okay. Okay, thank you. So I'll give you an exercise done. So please answer for your attendance. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum and good luck.